All right, let's move to a visitor. Texas Governor Rick Perry is coming to California next week. Actually, he's going to leave on Sunday, and he's going to stop in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, and Orange County, where he will meet with business leaders in the high-tech, biotechnology, financial, insurance, film industries, and, John, guess what? A special side trip to meet Phil Mickelson. Had to throw that in. What do you think that's about?
You know what I love? I mean, I'm not.
He's here to poach. Actually, one headline actually says poach. Is this the USA Today? Texas Governor Rick Perry set to poach California jobs.
Perry did not come across as the smartest guy in the room during the debates.
We're trying to get him on the show next week.
I know. So, but he's
a good-looking guy.
There you go.
Does that help?
Maybe.
Good. You can interview him then. But this is funny because after Brown made that joke about Perry's radio buy being nothing more than a fart, I like that he's coming in person.
We have that audio
to rub it in.
Well, what we're going to do is two things here, and we'll bring you an update on the story. We'll go back and play the 30-second ad that Rick Perry voiced with the huge $24,000 media buy in California for radio and TV. You think about how far $24,000 goes for radio and TV in California.
In a big market, that'll get you about 50
radio
maybe
in Yucaipa it gets you on a few.
Yucaipa, you can play all year, yeah. Right.
All right, so let's listen to the ad, and then we'll listen to the comment Jerry Brown made about it.
Building a business is tough, but I hear building a business in California is next to impossible. This is Texas Governor Rick Perry, and I have a message for California businesses. Come check out Texas. There are plenty of reasons Texas has been named the best state for doing business for 8 years running. Visit TexasWideOpenForBusiness.com and see why our low taxes, sensible regulations, and fair legal system are just the thing to get your business moving to Texas.
That's right, and we have high taxes, onerous regulation, and an unfair legal system. Well, let's play the Jerry Brown clip because the reporter started to bug Brown about the radio ad.
You take a little radio ad and all you guys run like lapdogs to report it. It's nowhere. It's not a burp. It's barely a fart.
Thank you.
The ad is barely a fart since $24,000 doesn't go very far. It's a good one.
Not a burp, barely a fart.
So apparently he was on another radio show today. Perry was. Asked about that, and he just wanted to talk about how people are voting with their feet. They're moving to states with low taxes, a fair, responsible regulatory climate, and a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing. Oh, he threw that one in. This is about competition between states, and if we didn't matter, we would be ignored. The fact is, Texas, Florida, Louisiana, they matter. People are moving to these states.
I mean,
we have great competition.
Can you imagine? I mean, if you wanted to move to Texas, and there are some downsides to that, but if you make a lot of money and you could save 13% of your income.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's on somebody making over $1 million.
Yeah, right.
So for every million that they make, it's $130,000 you keep. I mean, that's just so outrageous, that amount of money. You know, you make $2 million over $1 million. That's $260,000 right there. That's an unbelievable amount of money. It's stupid to think that people wouldn't move there or move their business there. Just stupid. God, I know some people who moved years ago, and the guy was in the oil industry, and they were living in Manhattan Beach, right? And they were in a house. It was, moderate sized, no land around it, like a lot of the homes in Manhattan Beach. He gets transferred to Texas. They've got acres and acres for the same price. Huge house, gated community, all sorts of land. It was unbelievable, the difference. And it was really nice. It was a real upscale neighborhood. And the house was the same price. And when you would actually see what people get there, you start thinking, well, maybe I can deal with the humidity and the mosquitoes. Because you get a lot of land. Land is cheap. Taxes, income tax non-existent. And so many people can work from anywhere now and, do their business over the internet.
I mean, during the worst years of that recession, Texas was leading the country easily in job creation. And they were drawing a lot of business there as people had to make those kind of decisions. They're claiming that this trip involves sometimes California companies that have gone to, it's a website, TexasWideOpenForBusiness.com, and shown some interest. So they're going to be hosting like little receptions from some of these executives from some of these companies that showed some interest in possibly moving to Texas.
Moving to Texas or
bringing the governor here is a pretty big thing. I can remember Schwarzenegger went to Nevada. Remember, like a year after he became governor to try to lure businesses back to California with some sort of campaign.
Yeah, that did no good. I don't know if these campaigns work, but they could lay out a pretty compelling deal because everything he said is true. There's a reason why job creation is booming in Texas, and it stinks here. I mean, it's clearly a completely different philosophy. And what it is not so much that they're gonna Intel is gonna get up and move or Apple's gonna get up and move, but as the companies grow, they expand. They don't have to expand here. They can expand there and start slowly moving some of their operations over. You look at the future because you see California is not getting any better now that we have one-party rule. Now that the legislature has the 2/3 majority with the Democrats, things will only get worse year after year after year. And guys who run these businesses, I don't care if you think they're greedy pigs. They're smarter. They're smarter than you are. And they're going to look at the numbers and say, we're out.
What did we talk about just 2 days ago with George Runner from the Board of Equalization? I mean, believe it or not, the Cockamamie Franchise Tax Board is collecting retroactive taxes going back to 2008 for startup companies.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that. There was a court ruling involving a guy who was upset because you can only take the tax credit if you were California-based, and his company wasn't. Even though they had operations in California, they weren't largely California. Anyway, he won the court battle, but the Franchise Tax Board turned around and said, we're just going to have to take away that tax credit we gave going back to 2008 for those startup companies.
No.
It's $120 million they're talking about. I mean, those kinds of decisions is what I'm saying here. It's an example of how we have a horrible business climate.
No, because you have...
if you read that, if you're a startup guy and you're thinking about starting up a business and you realize they made that kind of decision, then maybe 5 years from now you get pinched like that? No.
You can't trust them because they're mean and they're nasty. They have an ideology where they hate people who are entrepreneurs. They hate people who create jobs. They're not sane. They're not rational. And everybody knows it. And the statistics prove it. That's the thing is it's all been proven. You go read 10 different reports about how California has the worst business climate, what CEOs say, what entrepreneurs say. California is always at or near the absolute bottom. It's not even debatable anymore.
California's bad and Los Angeles is bad. And, of course, if you are an L.A. voter coming up in March, you're going to be able to vote on raising your sales tax. Didn't get any help from the city's budget analyst, who sometimes makes sense, but this time he's climbed on board the tax train. We'll talk about it when we come back.
John and Ken Show.